All right, guys. So this is part two of the video. Shouldn't take very long to finish up my slides here. But again, if you started with this one, make sure you go select the other one. So the last question we left on was how far will the cruise ship be from its port in 2.5 hours from now? So again, what they're basically asking us here, if you remember, X was representing hours, so I want to figure out somewhere in between here, between 2 and 3, exactly at 2.5 hours. Where's it going to be? Well, I mean, if I gave you the value 2.5, okay, we put it right in between here. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to substitute 2.5 in for X. So I'm going to have 5 plus 10, parentheses, 2.5. Okay, so now I have 5 plus, well, 10 times 2.5 is going to be 25 here. Okay, 25 plus 5 is going to be 30. So what does that mean? And again, we always kind of like to write that notation, F 2.5 equals, okay, what this basically saying is that when we are at 2.5 hours in, my output here 30, well, I'm 30 kilometers away from the port. Okay, so that would be the final answer. Make sure that you guys write a quick sentence for this one here. How far will the cruise ship be from its port in 2.5 hours? The ship will be 30 kilometers away in 2.5 hours. Okay, so that's answering that last final question here. Okay, the other one little thing I want to mention is if you actually took a look at your graph here, okay, 2.5 is right in between 2 and 3, and if I actually followed this up, okay, I could have, again, if my line was straighter, I could have roughly estimated that, yeah, look, this is at 30 kilometers. So again, my graph here is actually making sense with the algebra that I just finished doing here. All right, let's move on to the next problem here. So it says Brittany lost her Chromebook and now has to pay the school back. All she had up front to pay with was $10, and now she's on a weekly plan of $2 to basically pay it back. So I want you to, same deal, I want you to write and graph the function that describes the situation. So I want you to go through the same idea. And at the very, very, very end here, I want you to try and answer the following question. If the Chromebook costs $280, how long will it take her to pay it back? Okay, so I want you to pause the video here and try it. One quick question you're all going to ask me. Do I have to copy this down? I want you to summarize all of this into a single function. Okay, so f of x equals blah, blah, blah. Summarize all of that. Okay, and so again, pause the video here and try it out by yourself. If you have any questions, please call me over. All right, so the function I'm going to use here to summarize my work is going to be f of x is equal to, well, I know that she paid, says up front she paid $10. So that's how much she has paid already. But she's on this plan. She's paying $2 a week. So I'm put plus 2x. That's how much she's paying back per week. All right. So what I have to do now is I have to make sure that I create my table of values, x. And then here is f of x. Okay, now same deal. Because x is representing weeks, there's no point in writing -1, -2, any of those negative numbers. We can't have a negative time here. So we start off with 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so again, if I go through all the work here again, I'm going to put 10 plus 2 times 0. Well, 2 times 0 is simply 0, so I get 10 plus 0, which is going to be 10. Okay, now let's do it for 1 here. So I put 10 plus 2 times 1. Well, that's going to be 10 plus 2, which is 12. Okay, now if I do it for 2, I'm going to have 10 plus 2 times 2, which is 4. So 10 plus 4 is going to be 14. And again, some of you guys already start seeing the pattern, right? The next one should be 16 here. All right, so I won't do it out. Now what I'm going to do here is, of course, I need to make sure that I label my graph here. Okay, so my x-axis here is representing the weeks. Okay, I'm on a weekly plan here, weeks. So again, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna skip a few here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't have to go that far. Now on my y-axis, well, it looks like we're going from 10, 12, 14. So maybe it'd be appropriate. I mean, you could do by ones, but let's go by twos. So hopefully I have enough space here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And then, yes, barely made it. 16 is going to be at the very, very top. Nope, I messed this up. Look at that. Look at that. I didn't even catch myself. All right, let me go back and erase this. I'll pause the video here. I'll actually fix this correctly. Let me erase this, and I'll come back on my Y. Okay, so I went through and I actually fixed my Y-axis. Now, again, what is this Y-axis? Let's talk about what it represents. So 2, 4, 6. Again, that should be the amount of money that she's paid back. So that should be the total so far. Okay, so how much has she actually paid back? Now what I want to do is I want to graph it, of course. I still haven't done that. So 0 to 10, I'm going to stay at 0 here, jump all the way up to 10. Okay, I'm going to do 1 comma 12. So I stay here at 1 and I go all the way to 12. Okay, next one should be 2 and 14. So we go to 2 and then I scoot up all the way to 14. The last one's going to be 3 and I move all the way up to 16. Now again, it's very, very difficult to draw a straight line, but here we go. That's the best we can do. That line right there is representing this function here. This f of x equals 10 plus 2x is representing how much money she's paid back in the number of weeks. Now what I have to do is answer the last one. If the Chromebook costs $280, how long until she pays it back? And again, if I'm looking at the total here, well, I only went up to 16. It's going to be kind of difficult to estimate based off this graph here. So I actually have to go back and do a little bit of work here. So I'm going to use a different color right here. Okay, let's use red. So to answer the last question, if it cost, oh, I guess it's blue. If it costs 280, so again, f of x here is representing 280. I want to figure out when it's $280. Well, what is that week? And again, if you remember back to the previous examples that we did when we had to fill out the table, this is representing f of x. So this actually has to go in the f of x spot here. So I'm going to do 280. I'm going to replace all the f of x equals 10 plus 2x. Now, why am I doing that? Is so that I can solve here for x. X is the number of weeks. So I say minus 10 from both sides. Okay, that is going to be 270 is equal to 2x. Now I divide both sides by 2. Now 270 divided by 2. Again, if we need to do the work, let's do the work here on the side. If I divide it by 2, 2 goes into 2 one time. Okay. Drop down my 7, that goes in 3 times. That's going to be 6. That's a 1 up, and I'm kind of running into this spot here. Let me erase that real quick. So again, if we need work, that's okay. That's going to be 10, that's going to be 5. So it's going to be perfect. So 135, but what the heck does that represent? 135 equals x. That's great, that's true. But again, make sure that we answer the question. It says, how long will it take to pay it back? Well, is it 135 days, weeks, months, years? And again, the x-axis was talking about weeks, so we say it will take 135 weeks to pay it back. That's a long time. All right, so what I want you guys to do is, this will skip over. Okay, get started on you guys' reflections. Remember, don't forget 3-sentence summary, 3 questions, all or nothing points on Friday's notebook check. Okay, as soon as you guys finish that, here's your class activity. If you have any questions about it, please call me over. Once you're done, like always, come see me so I can sign it off and give you those points. You're guaranteed, at least for the class activity, that you get full credit. All right, also if you have your notes, I'll sign those, of course, as well. All right, have a good one, you guys.